Welcome everyone, it's Gray Shirt Guy, Rock the Gray Shirt as always. We're going to talk about that balanced data slate today, but before we do that, let's get into a couple models I've been painting. Alright, we got ourselves a Mordian Iron Guard tank commander. So we did the pattern, which is Castellan Green and Mechanica Standard Gray primary. We did the pattern with a mix of some Hobby masking tape and some Fallout Hobbies stencils. And so I'm not sponsored by Fallout Hobbies, but I did buy this specific stencil about a year ago because I bought two stencils. I bought one for my Sisters of Battle and I bought an extra stencil for a vehicle. Just because I didn't want to buy just one stencil, so I was like, we'll buy two things. And so I bought these from Fallout Hobbies about a year ago, a little bit. So I do have a critique. So this masking tape worked great. Didn't tear the paint off, nothing, no problem. And I think this is still like 3M masking tape, but it's like hobby specific masking tape. I think I got this from a Japanese hobby store in the same section where they sell all their other like hobby paints and everything. And I've seen this at a lot of different hobby stores. It's very similar, yellow. It's like hobby masking tape. It comes in different lengths and sizes. So I've seen that a lot, and it's low tax, so it's not supposed to peel paint up. Now this stencil is printed on an Avery sheet, which I think it's a what do they call it, Cricut? I think they use some sort of similar device, kind of like a Cricut, to cut the pattern into the laminate or into the label, and it works great on flat surfaces. If you put it right here in the front, it stuck no problem. But right here, when I was trying to get this little curve right here, it does not like any form of curves, and it's just over the thickness of what this is. And I don't know if they've stuck with this thickness or if they've changed the thickness around, but this one right here would have been a little bit better if it was a little thinner and it could fold over corners, because we do have three-dimensional models. But it turned out really well. That's just my critique on it. And aside from that, I bought other stuff from Fallout Hobbies, so I'm still a supporter of them. But once again, not a sponsor. All right, let's get on over to it. Next part, we got some Victoria Miniatures heavy weapon teams. We got some las cannons with crew. And these guys were fun to paint, but they were the first models I painted, so I felt like it was taking a long time to get these six dudes done, plus their gun platforms. But they turned out really well, and I really like them, and they look pretty nice. And so also these are from Gamer Grass, once again, not sponsored. But Gamer Grass did it's where I got the tufts from. So I got a lot of upvotes on Instagram from these guys, which I was surprised by, but hey, they looked all right. So, all right, so here we get into it. The first 3D printed model I've ever painted. I printed a couple other models, but this is the first one. So this is he's going to be a proxy for a company commander. He is a bit larger in scale. This is Commander Z from Reptilian Overlords. Once again, not a sponsor. And so this is obviously, if you look at the brick he's standing on, this is a Ukrainian charity model that is supposed to loosely be based upon President Zelensky. And so I did model this army's paint scheme over kind of a tribute army to the Ukrainian army and the Ukrainian military. That's where the yellow and the blue come in. Now, the reason why I chose green is because their primary dress uniforms are green, and so since Mordian Iron Guard are mostly dress uniform green, I wanted to go with the green instead of using. They do have a digital camo pattern for their battle uniform, but I went with a green because the Mordians are in their dress uniform, and obviously it's not a one-to-one comparison. I just used the color scheme, and so that's kind of where I was going with it. I did have a printing issue with the hair. The only critique I would have, obviously I don't think I colored the dude's hair right, but the one critique I would have with this model is that I think the neck's a little too thick, but that's it. The proportions I think are definitely not 28 millimeter. I think the proportions are more like 32 millimeter. So, but and I tried to go with a marble on the base, where I saw a tutorial where it was you do a light gray and then you wash it and then you stipple dry brush on different whites to get it brighter and brighter, and then you add a dark gray in certain spots and then a black, and then you go back over those in white. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. From a distance it looks fine, but really close up, like these streaks should be a lot thinner. The black marble veins should be a lot thinner. But The next model, we got ourselves an Imperial Guard Commissar. This is a metal model. If you've never seen this one, I don't think he's still available. I don't think you can find him on GW's website anymore. He might show back up here and there, but I don't think he's super common. I did get this at a local game store about a year, within a year, less than a year ago. This photo was taken right after I put the grass tufts on. That's why it shows white, because that's the PVA glue. But I think it turned out really well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I was going to originally do the whole coat blue, and I was just going to have a little bit of green on the inside, but I was like, no, green's the primary color. And then so I did the inside yellow, which I thought was going to be super difficult, and it was a little difficult, but I think it turned out really well. It came out really vibrantly. And he's reading from the good book, whatever book that is. He's reading from it, probably the primer, or maybe some other. I don't know what other Commissar books do they have. So this is where we left off. This is where I need to get right back onto this. So after this video, I'm going to hop back on this Imperial Guard and get these guys knocked out. But we did, we lined up. So basically what I like to do is I like to take models that are the same kind of model. So I took all of the lasgun guys, the guys that are using lasguns. And so they were everybody was already base coated or were primed in black, Zenithal highlighted white, and then did a dark green airbrush to get kind of it actually does do a nice blending effect. If you look at the models, if you tip them upside down, they're less green and more black. So it does make shadows, and it worked out pretty well. And so then I did all the blacks for the boots and the gun, and then I did all the grays for the barrel and that one dude's shoulder pad. And then, because if you didn't know, this arm is not from Victoria Miniatures. The rest of the models are from Victoria Miniatures. This arm is actually from a Forge World Death Corps of Krieg tank commander model, which is the army had before broke, and I just happened to go through my bits box and find that arm, and I thought it looked really cool, so I just went with it. And I went with because this is supposed to be like armor plating. That's why I went with the gray. So we're going to be doing the brown next, then the blue, and then the yellow, and then we'll be doing the base and the wash. So we're going to be working on this, hopefully get these guys done today. And then after this, we have 12 more infantry, and then we have 6 tanks and 2 aircraft. And trying to get this thing, see if we can get this done by Monday. All right, so that is the models I've been working on. Let's get into that data slate. All right, okay, we close that, so let's go on to it. All right, data slate. Where are we at? Okay, so Q2 2022, universal match play rules. So if you're not playing match play, these don't really affect you that much unless you want them to. I actually don't know how that works. There are things in this match play rule, since I mostly play open war, I will be incorporating some of these into my open war rules, because I just play against myself for stop motion. That's how I do the stop motion videos, and I'm trying to do one next week. Is I follow open war, but I like to use the rules for match play. It's pretty cool. So, and obviously this is only the second one they've ever, the second of this type that they've done. So I highlight some things in green that I like, and I highlight some things in red I don't like. So basically, all your power armor, your Adeptus Astartes, your Sanctus Astartes, your Heretic Astartes, and your Adeptus Sororitas, all your power armor users, they're getting to lower AP values against them by 1. That is pretty good. There's a lot of AP1 weapons in the game, so this is really going to make, it's really going to lower those things down. So obviously, it doesn't affect if your model has a storm shield, a relic shield, or a combat shield, or a relic that replaces one of those shields. You don't get this benefit. Models with a Sacrosanct shield or Force shield, so like Nemesis Dread Knights, they don't get it. And the models that are under the effect of another rule that worsens or reduces armor pen. So you can't stack the power armor, penetration, degradation, plus whatever else you're trying to do. You can't get -2 armor pen by stacking Armor of Contempt and this other rule. Now, I don't know if there's a way to where you can stack 2 spells or features together to get -2 AP degradation, but at least not with this you can. But so I think that's pretty cool. That's going to make Space Marines a little bit better. I don't know how much better, but a little bit better. Still aircraft, still limiting aircraft. I really wish this was aircraft units and not aircraft models, because most aircraft units are 1, but in the Imperial Guard, Valkyries are 3, So I really hope that they don't change the Valkyrie squad. Now, they probably won't because of what this is, where it says like if you're using Onslaught, you can have up to 3. So right now the squad is 1 to 3. I hope they don't reduce it to like 1 to 2 or 1 to 1 for Valkyries, just because I'm like, come on, man, I bought all those Valkyries. I painted them all Catachans. I made that really nice air cav army, and you've been killing me, Smalls. You've been killing me. Just make it transport. just remove the aircraft word and just make it a hovering transport. Anyways, all right. So Indirect Fire is hilarious. So everyone except for Guard got a little crapped on for their Indirect Fire. And so now if you're not within line of sight of your target, your ballistic skill gets worsened by 1, and their armor save against your Indirect Fire gets increased by 1. But as you see right there, I highlighted it. Imperial Guard units are not affected by this modification of the rule. So my Talarn artillery regiment is still good to go. So I'm happy about that. All right, so let's scroll down. All right, I'm not super. So I do have a Sisters of Battle Army, but I've never played with it, so I don't really want to speak to this. I haven't finished painting it, so I haven't played with it yet. But this thing's really awesome. We're gonna spend a little bit of time on this one, so apologies. So Hammer the Emperor is a new ability that gets attached to all Ashton Militarum detachments. So it's a new detachment ability, and it's Hammer the Emperor. If every regimental unit in your army is drawn from the same regiment, so that's a key thing. Then each time a regiment model from your army makes a range attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target. Note that units listed as advisor or auxiliary do not prevent other Ashton Militarum units from gaining this in your army from getting this rule. So you can still have your advisors. They just don't get this rule, but they don't take away the ability to get this rule. So there's a key distinction in this point. So I have the Catachan army. I have the I have the Air Cav army with my 4 Valkyries, but in there I have Scions, and I have several Imperial Guard army lists where I have Scions as plug and play to either add more infantry because I just didn't have models because some of the models are metal and I don't have any more of them, or I just didn't want to buy any new regiments and I'm like I kind of like the Scions. I kind of like the fact that I could drop in, and so I do have an all Scions army. Oops, all Scions. But I do like using them mixed in. So Scions are Tempestus regiment, not regiment. So the way that this works is as long as every regiment model in your army is the same regiment keyword. So I can't mix Cadians and Catachan together and get Hammer of the Emperor. I can have all Cadians or all Catachans. Now you can still put Scions in your army, but they do not benefit from this rule, and they don't take away from that rule the way I read this. And so, because it's talking about if every regiment unit. So, because this is regiment keyword, the other one's Tempestus regiment. And so there was an individual that was, they were like, oh man, my Tempestus Scion Turox Gatling cannon is going to be really good. And I'm like, no, because that's Tempestus regiment, not regiment. And so, like, oh, boo. And so, but having Scions in your army as like just a mixed force to like add deep strike capability and add more infantry isn't going to take away from the units that do have regiment. It's only if you're mixing 2 regiments together, which is rare. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't know why this distinction was put on there. I think they could have given Scions, but Scions do have more armor penetration normally. So here's where the thing is. I saw this and someone went way off board talking about how like las guns are now going to take down their Titan. That's like mathematically improbable that a bunch of las guns are going to take down your Titan. So, like a Titan has 120 wounds, but a 24 void shield bank. And so if let's say, just for shits and giggles, you did get within lasgun range of which is dumb. If you're using a Warlord Titan and you get within lasgun range, you've done something wrong. You're way too close to Imperial Guard, and they're not going to charge a Warlord Titan. It's just unrealistic. Now, then again, this is every regiment, so there are a lot of high fire weapons that could do more damage to a Warlord Titan now. But it's unrealistic for las guns to do that, because you gotta roll 144 sixes on las gun. You have to roll 144 sixes on any gun to be able to auto wound, and then they still get their armor save. And so that you have to roll 144 sixes, and then they have to fail. They have to once again roll 144 ones, because it's a 2-up regular save. They do have a 5-up invulnerable save, but their toughness is 9. And is there anything in the Imperial Guard that has strength 18? Storm, Shadow Sword. What is Shadow Sword? Let's go Volcano Cannon. No, that's strength 16. So, is there anything? I can't think of anything off the top of my head that is strength 18. Oh, maybe the Death Strike missile. I'll only check the Death Strike real quick. No, that can't be strength 18. Strength. Oh, it's blast, so it does mortal wounds, but you can't take in roll saves against mortal wounds anyways. So I don't actually think there's any there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but Hammer the Emperor, great ability. I'm super excited about it. I really want to see how these are the abilities I'm definitely going to be using in my open war games, even though I'm just playing against myself, so whatever. All right, so we still have the Lehman Russ has been changed to 2-up for the armor save. That's a thing holder from before. The same thing holder for the tank order from regiment commanders can select one friendly regiment vehicle. Excluding Titanic is silly. I think you should be able to use it on other ones. It used to only be good. You used to only issue orders to other Lehman Russes, but now you can issue to any other regimental vehicle, which is like Chimeras and Manticores and things like that. But I still think Titanic should be in there, because a lot of really good super heavy Titanic vehicles. This one, for each regiment has a voice command. Basically, each time voice command issues a following order to units, that same order can be issued to one or more friendly units, excluding the officer's unit, that are within 6 inches of the unit, until the order was originally issued to. Okay, so basically, if you have a one squad in front of you, and you have 2 squads within 6 inches of it, I think. Yeah, 6 inches of that unit, not the officer. So basically, you're like first rank fire, second rank fire, then that order can spread out. And so that's why you're probably going to see a lot more platoon commanders and company commanders and things that could issue orders. So you're probably going to see that a lot more. And then this last part right here, this is some spicy tech. So basically what they've done is they've taken infantry squads. Now their unit size is still 10 models, but they've changed their unit cost to 60. Now the unit cost before was 55 for a bare bones squad with no upgrades. But what they did is they made all their war gear free. So, oh boy, let me look at this real quick. Now, I actually heard from somebody, which, is valid. I heard from somebody that they didn't really like this that much. They didn't hate it, but they didn't like it. So normally 55 points for a unit of 10, and with no upgrades. So you get 9 las guns, and you get 1 sergeant with a las pistol and a chainsword. And you can give them a free chainsword. But so what you do now is you can give your sergeants other weapons. Now you can give your sergeants where is it? What is that? Las cutter. What do I use las cutter? So now you can sergeant, boxcaster, sergeant. You can give him a power sword now. So power sword always costs 5 points. Typically what you would see a lot is you'd see the sergeants having a power sword and a bolt gun would be typical. So you'd see an extra 7 points. So you'd see a squad, and then you'd see a power weapon. And so that's typically what you'd see. You'd see like a plasma gun or a melta gun, some sort of 5-point power weapon, and then you give your sergeant a power sword and a bolt gun. And so that's not an untypical loadout that I've seen around. It's obviously not, and not everyone uses it, but that was kind of a way to where you would have a little bit more power. You don't want to invest too much in upgrades, but a 5-point plasma gun is a 5-point plasma gun. You're not going to say no to a 5-point plasma gun, unless you're literally just trying to rush with las guns. And you didn't super often see heavy weapon teams, but now heavy weapon teams are free. So am I going to say no? So previously, like a missile launcher was 15 points, a las cannon was 15 points, autocannon and heavy bolter is 10 points. Now with the new Hammer of the Emperor ability, some of these heavy weapons are looking really good. Getting like what do you call it? Like a missile launcher with heavy D6, or getting even a grenade launcher with D6, a heavy bolter with 3 shots. There are some viable reasons to take a heavy weapon team now. Plus, you get Vox in every. I mean, you get Vox for free in every unit. Now, there's a problem. Vox have cost 5 points for so long that I haven't put a Voxcaster on any single model I own. So hopefully I'll be able to either put a bunch of like antenna sticks. I was thinking about just taking like toothpick sticks and just sticking it on like, this is the Voxcaster because this is his antenna. Just doing some way to denote which one would have a Voxcaster. But what that does is that extends the voice of command ability. So if a friendly officer was within 3 inches of your Voxcaster, then their voice command ability is extended to a range of 18 inches. So normally it's a 6-inch. I think it's a 6-inch range for issuing an order, or maybe 9. But now this extends it to 18. So if you have mass infantry, if you're using a lot of guardsmen, which I think this might be a viable strategy for using a lot of guardsmen moving forward. With this balanced data slate, I'm curious as to what the guardsman codex is going to have. Now, you don't want to read too far into this because they might not be related at all, but I like to think they might be. So yeah, I was not expecting this. I had seen like a joke release where like Strike Force units could take an extra 200 points, and that was like a day or two ago. And then this came out this morning, and I was like, ooh, well, this is pretty nice. Like, I'm not turning this down. I still wish they would change aircraft to aircraft units. That's me. Now, as far as all the other armies, the only one that mildly I was actually also looking at was a Salamanders one, because I do have a Salamanders army. But I haven't really looked at Forged in Battle too much, but it says each time an attack is made against a unit with this tactic, that attack wound roll cannot be rerolled. So I don't know what this means. This could be good, this could be bad. I don't know. Probably good, because Salamanders, I don't think they're doing super hot, but yeah. Now, oh yeah, we're not done yet. So I do have the there's a little bit minor. So the power armor thing works really well for, I think it's hold on, let me check this real quick. Let me check this. I don't want to speak out of turn. Chaos Space Marines. Do they have this? That I believe they do, but let me check. Corn Berserkers. Okay, so they do have her. Okay, so Corn Berserkers do get the benefit. That's good. Let me check Death Guard real quick. Death Guard. I think Death Guard have it. Check just Plague Marines. Let's check Plague Marines. Okay, so cool. So Death Guard, so my Death Guard army and my World Eaters army both have. Ooh. Okay. Well, yeah, they would have to. Wait, do Fallen have it? Oh, now I'm curious. Used to have been here. There you go. There's called Fallen now. Okay, cool. Do Fallen have it? Fallen don't have it. Oh, boo. 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 Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Chaos Rhinos units in a Fallen Angels. Oh, wait. What the heck? Sorcerers in a Fallen unit have their mark of Chaos Heretic Affection keyword replaced. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, So my that's funny. So my Fallen Space Marines in my Chaos Space Marine army, because I have a Chaos Space Marine army that has a detachment, a special detachment of Fallen. They don't get any of the chaos. Why do they make Fallen so bad? Why? I don't get it. Why did Dark Angels even care if the Fallen are that bad? Jeez. I mean, they do get like an extra melee weapon, but like I don't think this is worth an extra melee weapon. But anyways, all right. So change the Death of False Emperor ability to read each time a model with this ability makes a melee attack. They get exploding sixes, which is pretty cool. Because let me look at that real quick. Wait, is that? Wait, they score. Oh yeah, so they basically would already hit so they score 2 hits, so you don't have to roll again. So they have Hateful Assault and Malicious Follies. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, cool. So this is this does work with Core Berserkers. Nice. Death Guard. So let's see. Death Guard. Add the following bullet point to Death Guard attachment ability. Hold on. Here, I'm clicking on our box. Blight Lord Terminators and Death Shroud Terminators in Death Guard units gain objectives secured. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.